Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back with another video. Today, doing another top 10 countdown for 2022, looking back on different releases and stuff that came out this year. And going to be doing my top 10 favorite Transformers figures that came out in 2022. And I'll be honest, I almost didn't make this list. I didn't buy a ton of Transformers. I got a good little chunk, but I didn't go. I think I got less Transformers this year than I did last year. It was just a lot of stuff that I wasn't like, just like characters or whatnot. I just wasn't like super crazy that I had to have, so I didn't bother picking them up. Or there are a bunch of releases that I would like to get, but I'm just patient and I'm waiting on sales or whatnot to pick up. But still, a lot of really solid releases. We got the tail end of Kingdom and the beginning of the Legacy Generations line that I think has been really great for the most part. Studio Series I think continues to go strong. Yeah, just a lot of really cool releases. But I think I only picked up maybe in total like 16 Transformers, and that includes some repaints. I'm not going to do any honorable mentions. We're just going to get right into the list. So first up, we have the Transformers Legacy Voyager Class Bulkhead from kind of sort of Transformers Prime. And this figure's been a little controversial, I guess you could say. Some people weren't a big fan of the G1ification of the Transformers Prime characters, Bulkhead especially. I don't know, like I would have liked a more animation, like actual show Bulkhead, but I actually don't mind the G1 look for him like at all. I think this works. It's a bit generic, I guess, but I think it works. He's got the bulky torso. He's just kind of relatively bulky in general. I love the head sculpt, the paint and sculpt and details on this figure are really well done. Articulation's great. I think the vehicle mode's really good. It comes with some good accessories like his wrecking ball hand, and then you also get the like Energon Gatling gun thing that you can port on his shoulder. You can have him hold it or whatever you want to do. And he also has the riot shield on his back that you can put on his forearm or whatever. And he has some really good weapon storage as well in vehicle mode. So I really like all that. I just think it's a solid figure. It's a fun one. And I don't know. I like him. Put him off in the back there. Next up at number 9, we have a deluxe class figure, and it is Cosmos, the Velocitron 5000 Walmart exclusive Cosmos figure. And yeah, so Walmart exclusive, this guy is very hard to get, or was very hard to get. I got really lucky. Usually Walmart Canada, their website is abysmal when it comes to pre-orders. Half the time they don't even list figures for pre-orders, or when they do, half the time they're sold out super quick. But they put this guy for pre-order, and I actually was able to get my pre-order in for this guy, and I got him. And I had never seen this figure in stores. I've even seen other figures that I thought I might not see in stores. I found in stores, but Cosmos is like the one figure I never found in stores. Like all the other Velocitron figures I think I've seen in stores at one point or another. Cosmos is the only one I never saw. But he's very cool. I don't have a huge attachment to the character, but he's a very more unique G1 character. I think they did a really good job on the sculpt and the paint that is there. I love the head sculpt. The transformation's pretty interesting. The engineering's pretty cool for a relatively simple vehicle mode. The saucer mode looks cool. I like that it comes with the little checker flag, and then it can also double up as his gun if you wanted to. He's got a bit of loose joints. His shoulder is a bit loose here. But otherwise, he's a really solid deluxe. I really like him a lot. Next up at number 8, another deluxe. This is the Transformers Legacy, right? This was Legacy. Tarantulas. Yeah, very cool. Always good to get more Predacons, especially that main kind of cast of Predacons. Aside from the Megatron figures, he's probably my favorite of the Predacon figures they've done so far. The spider mode is really well done. The robot mode looks really good. Lots of great colors, paint, and sculpt is all going on there, which looks really nice. Comes with some accessories. Got this little like bow gun that's very similar to Black Arachnia's, and then he also has a little buzzsaw, which I think is super cool. And I thought he'd be like a remold of a Black Arachnia, but he has a lot of new parts, and I think the engineering's a bit different as well. So I'm really glad they kind of gave him his own figure, gave him the love that I think the characters do. So I really like Tarantulas. Put him there, I guess. His legs take up another room. Next up, another Velocitron figure. We have the Transformers Cybertron Override. I never owned the original figure, but Override's design was always really iconic to me. I grew up with the Unicron trilogy, and while Cybertron, not as much as, say, Armada, I did watch a fair amount of Cybertron back in the day, and Override is always a character that stood out to me for whatever reason. I really like the design and never got the original figure, so I'm happy they ended up making a new figure of her, and it's really good. Sculpt and paint's all really nice. The transformation, easy to do, but still pretty interesting. Vehicle mode's great, robot mode's great. Gun is cool, not too much else to say. It's just a really solid figure. And luckily, for the Velocitron figures, this one I ended up seeing in stores a few times, so it wasn't too bad to get the hands on this one. So that is number 7. Yes, 7, I do believe. I always lose track of this stuff. Next up, a Studio Series entry. We have Soundwave from the Bumblebee movie, which I know a lot of people, myself including, were excited that this figure was getting released. This is a figure that I keep forgetting was actually released this year. I'm pretty sure it was released this year. I don't think it's 2021 release. Pretty sure it was released this year. I kept forgetting, but it is great. Definitely high up there on some of my favorite Studio Series figures. I think they captured the look of the character from the movie really well. The paint and sculpt, the sculpt is really well done. No random kibble or anything. He looks really good. Paint's great for the most part. They did do this weird thing where I think he's missing some blue details on his visor because it kind of looks like he's worried, which is kind of weird. But aside from that, that's cool. Accessories are nice. He's got the rifle. He's got the shoulder cannon. If you get the core class Ravage, you can put Ravage in his chest. You can open up his chest. I'm storing Ravage's little extra gun in there, but you can do that. Articulation's pretty good. Really, the only thing with this guy is that the vehicle mode is pretty much a complete afterthought. He pretty much transforms into nothing, but he never transformed in the movie, so I really don't mind when they put all the effort into the robot in this instance, and it turned out really well. Then at number 5, I believe we're at number 5 now, it is Kingdom/Legacy Voyager Class Blaster. Yeah, really great. I've wanted a Blaster figure for a while. I'm glad I didn't end up getting him until now, because it's really great. Voyager Class, really good class from the beginning. He's nice and big without being too big. I was never a big fan of the Titans Return Leader class. That's just way too big for Blaster, in my opinion. I think he scales really well to the other figures. The sculpt and paint that's going in here is really well done. Articulation is great. Transformation, relatively simple, but smooth and fun to do. And he turns into that cool boombox ult mode, which is super nice. Accessories are really good. He comes with the rifle, and then he also comes with eject or rewind. I can't remember who this is. I always forget his name. He comes with this guy, and he's pretty well articulated for a small little figure, and you can fold him up, put him in his chest. Always gonna be a fan of figures like this, and awesome to have him among his Autobot compatriots. So that's number 5. At number 4, I thought this figure would be my number 1 Transformers figure of the year, but they were just towards the end of the year, some just really sick releases that just beat them out. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. This is 2 figures, but they're both the exact same, just different paint. It is the Legacy Leader Class Laser Prime / the Velocitron 5000 Scourge. And yeah, super awesome. Obviously, it's that case of Voyager-sized figure, Leader Class price point. He does have a fair amount of playability and features, though, that I think justify the Leader Class at least a little more than maybe Earthrise Prime did. But pretty good articulation. Sculpt and paint's really good, especially on Scourge. I really love how Scourge looks. Even though a lot of people say he doesn't look very accurate, but I'm not really too attached to G2, so I don't really care. I just think he looks really good. Accessories are pretty decent. It comes with the axe, the sword, matrix inside, the trailer. The trailer has some really nice playability. It can turn into a little turret thing. The trailer, obviously, there's a configuration I've seen online that I've used that you can make it like a giant Gatling gun for Optimus to use, which I think is super fun. The truck mode's really good. Transformation's pretty easy to do, but still fun to do. Yeah, just a really, really solid release. If I had to absolutely pick one over the other, I would pick Scourge. I think these paint apps, the light piping, just looks so sick on this mold. But the standard laser Optimus is still really good, where I don't really want to have to pick if I don't have to. But yeah, there's them. At number 4. So if these guys didn't make number 1, who beat them? Well, they're all pretty recent releases, pretty late releases in the year, but they're all really, really sick figures. And another Studio Series release, we have the Leader Class of the Fallen. Man, and I just love this figure. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The sculpt and paintwork that went into this one looks absolutely awesome. He has light piping, so when you do have a light going through that, the orange red eyes look really intimidating with the face. I think with Studio Series, they really do come out really well when they are well painted, and the Fallen is a testament to that. If this guy wasn't painted as well as he was, I wouldn't like him nearly as much. But yeah, I just absolutely love that. He has the staff, the articulation's pretty good. You can take off his face and his jaw's movable underneath the face, which I think is hilarious. The vehicle mode's okay for it, what it is. Again, it's kind of like Soundwave, where the vehicle mode's kind of an afterthought, but the character, again, never transformed in the movie. So as long as the robot mode's really solid, I don't really care that much. There are some minor annoyances that keep him from being, number 1. It would have been cool if he came with a Matrix of Leadership from the movie. These little appendages thingies that attach to his arms are a bit awkward when you're trying to pose. I think they're engineered pretty good, but they're just kind of awkward. He's got some looseness, mainly in the hip joints. And obviously the vehicle mode's kind of an afterthought, but still absolutely awesome. And the size of them too. This is a leader. This is getting close to like old Leader Class sizes. Not quite, but it is getting pretty close. It's really good to see some big Leader Classes again. So yeah, the Fallen is super awesome. At number 2, almost made number 1, is really another very recent release. A character I don't really have too much attachment to, but it's just such a sick figure. It is the Legacy Leader Class Transmetal 2 Megatron from Beast Wars. And yeah, wow, what a figure, man. Big, bulky, pretty hefty. Love the translucent plastics going here. He's got translucent top of his head, translucent chest, translucent wings on his back. I absolutely love how they engineered the articulation on his tail and on his arm with all these different segmented ball joints. It's just super cool and super fun to pose. Really well articulated, painted and sculpted beautifully. The dragon mode is super sick. I don't usually display my Transformers in their alternate modes, but this is one I probably will. It's just that cool. The dragon mode is so sick. Comes with the flame accessory, which in robot mode, uses as a club, which is kind of dumb, but you can put it in the mouth of the dragon head and you can breathe fire, which is so cool as well. Yeah, this is just one of my favorite releases just of the year in general. So cool. Even if you don't have any attachment to the character, if you're collecting Transformers at all, yeah, you got to be picking this one up. He is super, super nice. Which leaves to number 1. And this, probably won't be number 1 on many people's lists, to be honest. But he is on mine mainly for sentimental reasons. It is the Transformers Legacy Voyager Class Armada Starscream. I recently did a review of this guy, and I compared him with the original toy, which was my very first Transformers figure alongside the original Armada Red Alert. And it's a great figure. It's pretty much the Starscream I wish I had way back then. Not that the old figure was like terrible or anything. It has its charm, but I always wanted a Armada Starscream that had the articulation to really make use of those sword fighting poses and whatnot. And this one achieves that 100%. Sculpt and paint's really nice for the most part. Transformations, not too hard, and is pretty similar to the original, but has some new engineering that is pretty cool. Accessories are pretty nice. He's got his sword, and then he even comes with the Star Saber, Minicon Star Saber from the show, which is pretty sweet. Again, not a perfect figure by any means. Really weird, some missing paint apps, and really weird that he doesn't have any Minicon ports, but Legacy Bulkhead does. That makes literally no sense, but what are you going to do? Overall, the jet mode's really nice. Yeah, just super, super, super happy with this. Very happy with this. But that is pretty much it. That is my top 10 Transformers figures of 2022. Didn't pick up any third party this year, I don't think. I don't think I picked up any third party this year. I'm not too huge on third party. I only get the odd one here or there. But yeah, A lot of really great releases this year. Even if I don't get too many, Transformers I think almost always kills it with their releases. So many great things come out of that line. And it's definitely one of the funnest lines to collect and sure just fun factor when you get a Transformers figure. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What were some of your guys' favorite Transformers of the year? And I'll see you all in the next one.